A dusty main street in a frontier town, 1882. Men with long coats and wide-brim hats walk past a wooden saloon. A horse is tied near the post. The sun is harsh. One man turns to stare at the camera, his eyes full of suspicion. Women washing clothes by the riverbank in Montana, 1876. Their faces are worn, hands red from cold water. Children play nearby. A rifle leans against a tree trunk. Sheriff posing with a wanted poster outside his office, 1885. The jail door is open behind him. His hand rests on his revolver. The poster reads, $500 reward, dead or alive. A saloon card game turns tense, Texas, 1881. 4 men at a table. One's hand is frozen in midair. Another reaches slowly under the table. A spilled bottle of whiskey glistens on the floor. A wedding in a prairie church, 1874. The couple stands in front of a wooden altar. Small crowd. Bride's veil is handmade. Outside, horses wait quietly under the trees. Buffalo soldiers resting after a patrol, New Mexico, 1883. Dusty boots, worn uniforms. One smokes a pipe, another writes a letter. They sit under a tree, rifles beside them. Children playing beside a water well, Arizona, 1887. 2 boys toss pebbles into the bucket. A girl with braids holds a doll made of rags. The well rope creaks. A funeral procession through the desert, 1879. Wooden coffin carried on a mule cart. Men remove their hats. Dust trails follow them. A small wooden cross is tied with cloth. Blacksmith working in firelit forge, California, 1886. Sweat drips from his forehead. Sparks fly. His young apprentice watches, holding a water bucket. Tools hang on the wall like weapons. An old cowboy lighting his pipe beside a campfire. Wyoming, 1880. His boots are cracked, hat low over his eyes. The flames reflect in his weathered face. Behind him, a horse grazes in silence. A lone horse rider crossing the Rio Grande, 1884. Water splashes up as the horse pushes forward. A rifle hangs from the saddle. Mountains loom behind them. The rider's face is half-shadowed. Chinese railroad workers on break, Nevada, 1869. Men sit on stones, eating quietly. Their hands are calloused. A steam train looms nearby. One man looks straight at the lens, expression unreadable. Inside a general store, women trading furs and eggs, Colorado, 1881. Shelves stacked with canned goods and lanterns. A child holds her mother's skirt. The shopkeeper counts coins under oil lamplight. A street preacher under the storm clouds, Oklahoma Territory, 1888. Bible raised, his coat flaps in the wind. A small group listens, others walk by. Behind them, thunder breaks in the sky. A Native American woman weaving baskets outside her tent, 1877. She sits with calm hands. 2 children peek from behind the cloth door. Her eyes carry both peace and centuries of pain. A steam train stuck in snow, Dakota Territory winter of 1886. Men shovel ice in silence. Breath clouds the air. A lone conductor watches the mountains. A telegraph pole leans dangerously. A duel aftermath. Empty street and dropped gun, Arizona, 1882. No people in sight. One revolver lies in the dirt. A trail of boot prints leads around the corner. Shadows fall long. A family sitting outside their wagon, Missouri Trail, 1875. Mother holds a baby wrapped in quilt. Father sharpens a knife. Older son stares into the distance. Behind them, the plains stretch forever. A lone Native American elder sitting on a hillside, Dakota Plains, 1880. He holds a handmade pipe, wrapped in fur. His eyes watch the wind. Behind him, the wide land stretches to the horizon. 2 young brothers carrying firewood through a snow-covered trail, Idaho, 1885. Their feet sink into the snow. One wears oversized boots. No coats. Their breath clouds in the freezing air. A traveling photographer setting up his large camera in a ghost town, Utah, 1890. Tripod legs in the dust. He pulls the cloth over his head. A broken wagon lies nearby. A tumbleweed rolls past. Mexican vaqueros herding cattle across the borderlands, Texas, 1878. Dust swirls around hooves. Their hats are tilted low. One rider blows a whistle. The cows move in sync like waves. A native child holding a worn-out doll made of straw, Montana, 1871. She stands beside a teepee. Her dress is too small. Her eyes, distant, as if seeing a world beyond the photo. Old miners resting outside a cave entrance, California Gold Rush, 1849. Beards long, clothes stained with dust. One holds a pan of dirt, another drinks from a tin cup. The gold lies hidden within. Two women dueling with pistols in the middle of a dirt road, Nevada, 1883. A crowd watches from porches. Dust kicks up as one fires. Freeze-frame moment, shock on every face. A man writing a letter by lantern light inside a small wooden cabin, 1879. His wife sleeps on a cot. The paper trembles in his hand. The oil lamp flickers as snow hits the window. A preacher baptizing settlers in a muddy river, Arkansas, 1867. A line of people wait in wet clothes. One woman clutches a cross. Children cry on the riverbank. Three freed slaves building their first home in Oklahoma, 1870s. Wooden beams rise slowly. Their hands are raw. A flag hangs beside a cracked barrel. Their eyes show pride and pain. Cowboys herding cattle at sunset, Texas Plains, 1885. Long shadows stretch across the dusty ground. Horses kick up dust. One cowboy stops, gazes at the horizon, hat tilted low. A mother baking bread in a log cabin, Montana, 1878. Sunlight streams through a small window. Flour dust hangs in the air. Her child sits nearby playing with a wooden toy. Blacksmith hammering iron for wagon wheels, Wyoming, 1882. Sparks fly with each strike. Apprentice watches closely. Outside, the wind bends prairie grass. Children skating on a frozen pond, Dakota Territory. Winter, 1887. Their cheeks red, laughter frozen midair. Some fall, some glide. Smoke rises from a nearby cabin chimney. A sheriff on horseback patrolling a deserted street, Arizona, 1883. Dust swirls around boots. His hand rests near a holster. Windows shuttered. Dogs bark in the distance. Settlers building a wooden fence, Kansas, 1876. Men hammer posts. Women hold boards. Sweat glistens on foreheads. A wagon of supplies waits nearby. An old prospector panning for gold, California River, 1880. Water splashes over a metal pan. Sun reflects gold flakes. His face is weathered, eyes hopeful. A saloon girl arranging flowers in a jar, Nevada, 1885. Her dress is simple, hair pinned neatly. Candlelight flickers. Music from a piano drifts softly outside the door. A wagon crossing a wooden bridge over a stream, Oklahoma Territory, 1884. Wheel creaks, horses strain. Dust rises behind. Clouds gather overhead, hinting at a storm. A quiet cemetery at dusk, Missouri, 1879. Wooden crosses lean slightly. Wildflowers grow. A lone figure kneels beside a grave, holding a hat over their chest. A lone rider crossing a vast desert, New Mexico, 1886. Sun blazes overhead. Dust swirls around hooves. The rider squints against the heat. A distant mesa rises. A wagon train stuck in mud after heavy rain, Colorado, 1877. Mules strain, wheels sink. Settlers push together. Water splashes their boots. Clouds hang low, threatening more rain. A band of outlaws planning a train robbery, Arizona Desert, 1883. Maps spread on a rock. Cigarettes glow in twilight. Tension in the air, one man checks a revolver. A cowboy rescuing a calf from a ravine, Texas Hill Country, 1882. He leans over the edge, hoisting the struggling calf. Dust and sweat mix, wind whistles past. An old stagecoach rattling along a rocky trail, Utah, 1881. Horses snort, wheels creak. A passenger clutches a trunk, eyes wide at the narrow cliff path. A hunter skinning a deer near a pine forest, Montana, 1885. Knife flashes in sunlight. Pine needles scatter. Smoke rises from a distant cabin chimney. A black storm rolling over the prairie, Kansas, 1879. Lightning splits the sky. Settlers secure wagons. Children huddle. Dust and wind whip the tall grass. A river ferry transporting goods and people, Missouri, 1880. Wood creaks, ropes strain. Water churns beneath. A ferryman shouts directions. Birds circle overhead. A miner carrying a lantern through a dark tunnel, California, 1882. Walls glisten with moisture. Echoes bounce. He pauses, sweat dripping, a pickaxe in hand. A family gathering around a campfire at night, Dakota Territory, 1884. Firelight flickers on faces. Children roast marshmallows. Wolves howl in the distance. Stars glitter above. A blacksmith forging horseshoes outside a rustic forge, Wyoming, 1883. Sparks fly as hammer strikes iron. Sweat glistens on his forehead. Horses stamp impatiently nearby. A sheriff inspecting wanted posters in a dusty town, Nevada, 1881. Paper flaps in the wind. Sun glints off his badge. Townsfolk whisper as he scans the faces. A pioneer woman washing clothes in a stream, Oregon, 1878. Hands scrub fabric. Water splashes over rocks. Birds chirp above. A distant cabin smoke curls into sky. A group of cowboys herding cattle across a river, Texas, 1880. Hooves splash, ropes snap. Cattle resist, some struggle against strong current. Sun glints off wet hides. A saloon interior with a tense poker game, Deadwood, South Dakota, 1876. Cards shuffle. Whiskey glasses clink. A revolver rests on the table. Eyes narrow, tension thick. A wagon wheel breaking on a rocky trail, Colorado, 1882. Settlers scramble to repair it. Dust rises, horses strain. Sweat and frustration mix as clouds gather. A lone prospector panning for gold in a river, California, 1884. Water sparkles, rocks tumble. His face lights up as a golden flake catches the sun. A Native American tracker riding silently through the forest, Montana, 1879. Eyes sharp, ears alert, hooves crunch leaves. Mist curls around the trees, early morning sun peeking through. A family unloading supplies from a wagon at a frontier homestead, Nebraska, 1881. Children carry wood. Adults drag barrels. Smoke rises from the cabin, chickens scatter. A cowboy repairing a fence under the sunset, Texas Plains, 1885. Golden light stretches across the prairie. Hammer hits nails rhythmically. Horses graze quietly nearby. A cowboy chasing runaway horses across a dusty plain, Arizona, 1883. Dust kicks up around hooves. Sun glares. He leans forward, rope ready, determination on his face. A schoolhouse with children seated at wooden desks, Kansas, 1882. Sunlight filters through dusty windows. A teacher writes chalk letters on the blackboard. Children watch attentively. A horse-drawn mail coach navigating a steep mountain pass, Colorado, 1884. Wheels groan. Horses strain. Riders grip reins tightly. Jagged cliffs rise on both sides, wind howling. A miner lighting a lantern in a dark mine tunnel, Nevada, 1879. Dust swirls. Pickaxe leans against rock walls. Shadows dance, revealing glimmers of ore. A stagecoach robbery in progress, New Mexico, 1881. Masked bandits leap from horses. Guns flash. Passengers scream. Dust clouds swirl in chaotic motion. A family sitting around a campfire under stars, Wyoming, 1885. Faces illuminated by warm firelight. Children listen to father's stories. Coyotes howl in the distance. A blacksmith shoeing a wild horse that bucks fiercely, Montana, 1880. Muscles strain, sparks fly, sweat drips, dust rises as the horse struggles against the iron grip. A lone rider silhouetted on a ridge against a crimson sunset, Texas, 1883. Wind whips coat. Hat shadows face. Vast plains stretch endlessly below, a single tumbleweed rolling by. A frontier doctor tending to a patient with a bandaged arm. Oregon, 1882. Candles flicker. Doctor's hands steady. Patient winces but trusts the care. Wooden cabin walls creak. A herd of bison crossing a river. Plains of South Dakota, 1878. Massive bodies splash in water. Dust rises. Eagles circle above. The raw power of nature dominates the scene. A lone trapper setting snares in a snowy Montana forest, 1881. Snow blankets pines. Breath steams. Snares snap quietly. Tracks of wolves and rabbits crisscross the ground. A saloon interior with cowboys playing poker, Nevada, 1883. Cards shuffle. Coins clink. Whiskey glasses reflect flickering lanterns. Tension rises with every bet. A river ferry carrying wagons across a raging river, Missouri, 1879. Wooden planks strain. Water churns violently. Ferryman grips ropes. Horses snort nervously. A cowboy tending cattle during a fierce thunderstorm, Kansas, 1882. Rain pelts face. Thunder crashes. Lightning illuminates distant hills. Cattle bellow and scatter. A Native American scout watching settlers from a high ridge, Arizona, 1880. Eyes focused. Bow ready. Wind whispers through desert grass. The scout remains silent, blending with the terrain. A prospector panning for gold in a mountain stream, California, 1884. Water rushes over rocks. Golden flakes sparkle. Face covered in grime, hands skilled and steady. A frontier preacher delivering a sermon outside a wooden church, Texas, 1882. Congregation listens intently. Sun sets behind them, casting long shadows. Dust swirls in the warm light. A rattlesnake warning a cowboy near a campsite, New Mexico, 1881, coiled and alert. Sand shifts beneath its body. Cowboy freezes, hand inching toward gun. Heartbeat visible in tension. A wagon train crossing a desert plain, Arizona, 1883. Dust rises in clouds. Oxen strain. Families cling to belongings. Sun blazes, unrelenting. The horizon seems endless. A solitary wolf howling atop a hill at Moonrise, Montana, 1880. Silver light bathes snowy peaks. Wind carries howl across the valley. Lone eyes glint, watching the silent frontier below. A blacksmith hammering iron in a small Wyoming forge, 1882. Sparks fly. Metal clangs rhythmically. Sweat glistens on his brow. Horses outside paw at the ground impatiently. A stagecoach barreling down a dusty trail, Arizona, 1883. Dust clouds swirl. Horses gallop furiously. Passengers clutch seats, wary of bandits. Wheels creak under strain. A schoolhouse with children learning under a strict teacher, Colorado, 1881. Chalk scrapes on board. Children whisper nervously. Sunlight streams through dusty windows. Lessons are strict. Discipline strict. A cattle rustler sneaking through the night, Texas, 1882. Shadowed figure moves silently. Lanterns glow in distant barns. Hooves shuffle. Danger hangs thick in the desert air. A pioneer woman baking bread outside a log cabin, Montana, 1880. Flour dusts her hands. Dough rises slowly in the warmth. Smoke drifts from the fire pit. Birds chirp cautiously nearby. A lone rider scouting for water in a dry Arizona canyon, 1883. Cracked earth, tumbleweeds, heat shimmers. Rider squints toward a distant oasis, horse pawing impatiently. A sheriff confronting an outlaw at high noon, New Mexico, 1881. Sun beats down. Dust swirls. Hands twitch near holsters. Silence hangs. Every second tense. Every eye locked. A group of settlers building a bridge over a shallow creek, Kansas, 1882. Timber creaks. Axes swing. Children watch, fascinated. Water gurgles below as progress slowly forms. A Native American camp with families around fire at dusk, Oklahoma, 1880. Smoke spirals upward. Stories are shared. Children listen wide-eyed. Red sky reflects on tents and painted faces. A wolf pack hunting across a frozen prairie, Montana, 1883. Breath fogs, snow crunches under paws, eyes glint in moonlight, predators move as one, silent and deadly. A mysterious abandoned mine at sunset, Nevada, 1882. Sun dips behind jagged cliffs. Shadows stretch long. Rusted carts lie forgotten. Silence whispers secrets of lost fortune. A traveling preacher addressing a crowd in a dusty town, Arizona, 1881. Hat shadows over eyes. Wooden platform creaks. People gather, listening intently. Wind carries dust across worn faces. A buffalo herd crossing a wide river, Montana, 1880. Thunderous hooves. Water splashes high, dust rises behind them. The sound echoes across open plains. A storm brewing over a lonely farmhouse, Kansas, 1883. Dark clouds roll in. Lightning forks the sky. Trees bend violently. Inside, a family huddles by the hearth, tense. A miner discovering a sparkling vein of gold, California, 1882. Hands tremble. Sunlight glints off the ore. Nearby tools lie forgotten. The distant river murmurs quietly.